Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
I'm Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is a Grey's Anatomy discussion that I think we've been spending the past week or so trying to figure out. It's been a while since we've heard that Justin Chambers is leaving.
Yep.
But it doesn't actually feel like we have that much more information.
No, we don't. Instead, we're just left with a lot of speculation. We've been talking a lot about it.
Yeah.
How could he leave the show? They have, when we last saw him, he's still doing perfectly well with Joe. Everything is great. They had renewed their vows at Halloween. We don't know, and we don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I don't even know if we're going to get answers on the winter premiere either, because they're going to spend so much time on that crossover that I don't know if we're really going to be flashing forward to wherever, a few days after the Joe's Bar incident or anything else. So this may take some time, but we're going to present some possible ideas for what they could do with Alex. There's no spoilers, but we have a few different things.
This is all just our ideas.
Yeah, we're going to bounce some stuff out there. And, of course, we want to know from you guys in the comments if you like these ideas, if you don't like these ideas.
Yeah.
Before we do, though, if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. All right, so idea number one. Let's get the worst one over with now, at least in terms of it being the saddest. They kill Alex off.
Yeah, and for me, it sucks because not only is it the saddest and everything that Joe's already just gone through just this season, it's so much. And to have her rock then get killed off, it breaks my heart to even think that could be a thing. But then I look at the flip side of it, and I can't think of any other reason he would not be with her.
That is the problem, and it reminds me of, I'm going to spoil Downton Abbey from like forever ago when what happened with Matthew. Yeah, I remember the producers sort of coming out and talking about this because there were these questions about, how about why couldn't you just have Matthew leave and go somewhere else for months on end? And their explanation was just sort of like,
it doesn't make sense.
He wouldn't do that to Mary.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for that character. And so that's why they're kind of between this rock and a hard place. And they've been there before with Derek before when Patrick Dempsey left the show. Yeah. So it is a precarious position, but I think Alex being killed is the most likely scenario for how this ends. It's not the only scenario, and it's not even a guarantee that they would kill him off right now.
Yeah, that's true. It could be something along the lines that he stays with his mom for a little while and that plays out for a little bit of time and then something happens to him.
Yeah, the thing that makes this like ultra perplexing is that we don't really actually know when the timeline was when all this happened. We don't know when Justin decided that he wanted to leave, what sort of long-term discussions were had with the showrunner, Krista Vernoff, the writers. Because, just think like a couple episodes ago. It didn't seem like there was any sign that Alex was leaving.
No, there wasn't. That's why it's... this was really a shock to me to find out that he was leaving the show. I didn't know how to digest it then. I don't know how to digest it now. And it leaves me feeling so sad for Joe's character because no matter what happens, there's going to be something kind of bad coming up for her with this.
Yeah, and it feels almost like it was like just decided before this past episode was filmed, where all of a sudden they're like, okay, we need to come up with a reason to write Alex out of this script, and maybe they'll buy their time. We won't learn for sure till the end of this coming season, next season. Who really knows? Like you said, he could stay with his mom for a long period of time.
Yeah, it just feels like the only way they could possibly keep him alive, and this wouldn't work forever, is that if he was with his mom for an extended period of time, he was at a job elsewhere, and there was a long distance thing going on, because we have seen the show use text messages to keep even Christina on the show, and we saw it in the finale, or the mid-season finale, with the package that she delivered to Meredith. So there is a possibility that we could still see him through text and that Joe is going to stay where she is and he's going to be doing whatever. But I just don't think that that's going to last. It can't last forever.
No, it's an unrealistic expectation for Joe and Alex to have a marriage where they're never, like, in each other's lives physically.
No.
I mean, maybe you could be like, oh, Alex just visited me this past weekend, and you just don't see it on the show, but...
As a viewer, that's not going to be satisfying for me. I feel that, for a little while I'll buy into that, but... If we're going into next season, the season after, and this is still going on, I haven't seen him in all this time, like, I'm just not going to buy into it anymore.
Yeah, it just feels
Why wouldn't he be with her that we see?
And it would stifle her storytelling that, like, all of a sudden, there's only so much you can do with Joe because you have to factor in her relationship with this guy who's never really on the show and you can't show it.
Yeah, and Grey's Anatomy is a show about relationships. Not just about romantic relationships, but about family relationships and patient-doctor relationships and, of course, romantic relationships. We all tune in for that. So... Yeah, if you've sort of cut off Joe's romantic relationship, then what is happening with her? You've cut out a lot.
Well, let's talk about the idea of another job and what could be with that. Because there aren't a lot of reasons for Alex to want another job. He's done a decent job with Pac North. He's he's dealt with that crisis with all the bones. So he's been through a lot already there. So why leave for another job when you have not just Joe, but, Meredith, one of your best friends?
Yeah, and you've brought a bunch of people in over there that have now become part of the collective dumpster fire of that hospital. Yeah. That now you've brought in some really quality people who are all willing to be on this burning boat with you. So then... for Alex to all of a sudden say, oh, now I got a better job offer, so you guys just continue to be here with this sinking ship, and I'm going to go over to this better job. That also doesn't really feel like who he is.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of these don't, and a lot of it just comes down to the idea that he knows that Joe has serious abandonment issues now because of what happened to her.
Yeah.
He's just, I can't imagine the Alex we know and love abandoning her. We do have to talk about the idea, though, that maybe Joe will eventually go off and be with Alex and that they'll just kind of leave the show together. I'm not saying... This is tough, too, because I don't want, Camilla Luddington to be punished because Justin is leaving the show.
Yeah, I agree. And I would think that because Grey's Anatomy deals with a lot of very difficult issues. We saw everything happening with Meredith and her license. We saw everything that happened with Bailey and the baby. It's just... This show is not afraid to put our characters... into a dumpster fire and have all these horrible things happening to them. So would they put Joe in this type of situation where Alex gets killed off or something happens, or I just can't see him abandoning her. There's no universe or any writing that they could put together that I'm gonna believe it.
Yeah.
So throwing something really hard on Joe, like losing the love of her life to whatever happens to him, is something I could see the show doing. I don't think they want to lose Joe. Nobody wants to lose Joe.
Yeah, I think it's just, there's only a few different possibilities that I think seriously we can consider.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're really looking at it, losing Alex at this time where Joe has just gone through this horrible realization. She's just gone through therapy for it. If she has her rock, the person that's helping her through everything, to take that away from her could open up a lot of really deep, dark storylines for her.
Yeah, it could, and it could be something that would carry through at least the rest of this season, if not beyond this season. I mean, if we did have a situation where it turns out that Joe does end up leaving the show at some point down the road, or maybe Camilla decides that she's interested in leaving, and we just don't know. I would assume probably not. We don't know.
I just don't like to entertain this idea.
Yeah, I don't like the idea either. I don't
like where this conversation's going.
The only thing I could think about with that is that maybe you do something around the finale, and maybe Justin does come back for the finale, and you have like a collective send-off for the two of them. But then again, that brings me back to, if Camilla doesn't want to leave Grey's Anatomy, she shouldn't have to leave Grey's Anatomy, and we should get to see a lot of other good stuff for Joe, the character. And I'm curious to hear from the producers a little bit about that. I'm sure we will hear a lot more information probably next week, just because that's when the show's coming back.
Yeah, I would hope that there would be something more that would be coming out about it. It's kind of surprising that this information came out about him leaving, and then it's been a ghost town.
I think
there's nothing.
There's very convenient timing at play here, because I think it was announced like a day after ABC had their TCA panel, so they clearly did not want that to be a discussion point there.
Nope.
And it may not even be focused on in the episode, but I feel like there's going to be some interviews around the premiere and around Station 19. I'm sure we'll get some sort of comment on it. Maybe we'll get closure, maybe not, but this is the situation that we're in. But we're all in it together, and we will figure out what happens to Alex in due time. But let's hear from you guys. How do you think they're going to write out Alex? Give us some theories in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.